Alright guys, and welcome to another build walk around video that we're going to do for you. So this one we've got a Ford Ranger tray and canopy, really cool build. We're also going to touch on a few things we haven't spoken about in the tray and canopy packages thus far. Alright, so it's a 2021 Ford Ranger. We have gone for an extended tray, so it's 1800 long, and then all our trays on our domestic Rangers are 1850 wide. So 1850 but 1800 long, and then also the canopy is a full length canopy, so it's also an 1800. Powder coat colours we've gone for on this build are slightly different to standard. We have gone for our scratch resistant texture of black all the way around, with the exception of the doors. The doors are a pearl white, so it's still a powder coat, it's not a two-pack paint. So powder coated doors, it's not an exact colour match to the cab because we can't do that with powder coat. We can only pick from the range that Interpon and Dulux provide us. So yeah, it's a very close, a very similar colour, but it's not exactly the same. But let's be honest, you're not really going to tell, especially when you've got this black divide between the door and the cab. So a really close match, and we're really happy with it. Happy enough to offer it to customers going forward. So yeah, toolbox doors and canopy doors, pearl white. On the inside, so this build for this customer, it's done to be work and play. So it's set up for the customer to work out of. It's also there to sort of go away for the weekend as well, and a bit of touring. So on the driver's side, we do have the full EnerDrive touring package. So everything you see in all of our big American builds is packed into this setup here. So 2 kilowatt EnerDrive pure sine inverter, DC-DC and the solar charger, AC charging up the back, and that does have a shore power at the back. 4 switches, Cymarine, Anderson's ins and outs, AC power, then all of our breakers. So we don't have any fuses in these units, it's all done via circuit breakers. So means you can isolate the whole system by punching all of these out. And then also if you have one of the lighter breakers blow, these little lugs just stick out. So you can see exactly, just from a visual inspection, if something has blown inside the EnerDrive or has shorted, has maxed out the capacity, whatever reason it has to pop it, you can see straight away by visual inspection what's gone wrong. So that is the EnerDrive package, and then the last piece of it is the BTEC lithium 200 amp hour battery. That's cased below this little access panel here. So pop that off, it's 4 little bolts, and then you can get to your reset button if you do drain the EnerDrive battery completely flat. So if you didn't remove it, you take the drawer out. So the drawer comes out. So this customer has been using the car for about 2 weeks now. We have asked him to come back especially for this video because it is such a cool build, and we really wanted to show you guys. So drawer comes out, does have a bit of stuff in it, and then also the under stainless bench. So there's another one of these on the other side we'll get to, which is absolutely huge. But yeah, another working space. So really common, especially if you're having things plugging into your AC power to set them up on the bench there. Behind this drawer setup, obviously empty space. Again, we've touched on it in previous videos. There's not many tie down points through here. But any of these bolts, you can take them out and put an M6 eyelet into it. It threads straight into the structural member of the actual canopy base. So really strong tie down points. And then roof storage just to maximize it. We do bring it all the way across whilst leaving enough room to get to all the EnerDrive gear if you need to. Up on the doors, we do have, again, all of our updated door skins. So we have all the cabling come straight from the inside of the canopy and then into the door, and then you don't see it again until it pops out where it needs to pop out. For your lights, I'll just turn the lights on. Lights. So you got the warm light, Mozzie orange, and then also bright white there. And then central locking. So we do have covers on everything now. Again, same powder coat as the door, so it hides everything in, takes away from all, I guess, all the colors you could see, which really makes the locking mechanism stand out. So it's all tucked away, hidden, protected, can't go wrong with the setup. So it's a really cool update that we've brought out in the last few months here at GCI Traytec. All right, so the back of the canopy, again, there's a lot going on the back of this Ranger, but let's run through it and sort of point out everything which we do have set up on the back of it. So first thing we need to realize, there is quite a bit of weight back here, but everything we use is bolted into the structural member of the canopy. So you need to use your imagination a little bit here, but on the inside of the canopy, there is a structural frame that runs all the way around the outside, and there's also a cross member that runs about here all the way across. So every single part which is bolted onto the back, everything's bolted. We don't weld to the back skin of the canopy. So that means all of our loads. So you have a 20 kilo or a 20 litre jerry can in there. That's going to be what, 22 kilos for the actual case of the jerry can, plus whatever's in it, plus probably another 3 or 4 for the actual housing. You go off-road, you're gonna have to times that, say 25 by 5 times G, you're gonna have a lot of weight, which is gonna be going back and forth off the skin of that canopy. So to make sure everything's gonna last the test of time, instead of the welding, everything's bolted into that structural frame of the canopy. So yeah, a lot of weight in a jerry can, but then also rear ladder and a spare wheel. So again, a lot of weight. One thing we're gonna point out here is, usually with our bifold ladders, we have the lip of the tray. So the canopy is shorter than the tray, so all the weight of the tyre and the person climbing up on it goes into the tray, but that's not the case in this configuration. So what we have a new spare wheel holder. It's gonna be a little bit hard for you guys to see, but basically spare wheel holder, and there's a big lip on the bottom of it. So all of the weight from this spare wheel ladder combination is going into the spare wheel holder, and then it's distributed evenly up through the 6 connection points into the canopy frame. So nothing's just hanging off the one lip. And then furthermore, with our bifold ladder, it's bolted directly into the spare wheel holder again. So obviously, if you're standing on this, if I just bring this down, if I stand on this, all of the weight from me going into this is going into our spare wheel holder and not into the bottom of the canopy. So if we didn't have that, by me standing out there, it's going to create a moment force here, which is going to try and twist the very lower member of the canopy, which we want to avoid. It's bad, you do not want that. So by connecting our spare ladder or a rear ladder into the spare wheel holder, we can create a sort of an artificial lip to that canopy, which then all the weight goes into, and then it's going to be strong enough to last for years and years. So might as well show the rest of this. So spare wheel, rear ladder. This is the rear ladder over a spare wheel. You can climb up and get to anything up the top there. All right, so moving to the passenger side of the vehicle, up front we do have a Bushman 130 litre fridge. So standard fridge we use on the majority of our builds. It's usually the Bushman 130 or a drop down fridge. Few builds depending what the customer wants, and I guess customer preference to what fridge we go for, all spec'd by the customer. But let's face it, this drawer here, I'm sure you're staring at it, it is huge. So this guy here, I'm gonna pull this under bench out, under drawer stainless bench. Look at that for size. I think it's just under 1 metre long, so it's like 900 wide. And then it will be 800 deep as well. So it's a huge working space to sort of work off during the day, chuck some laptops up here, or yeah, food prep area is huge. You can have 2-3 people working on this. And then just push that halfway back to pull the main drawer out. Again, really, really big drawer. As we have gone over the 600, we do have a stiffener inside the drawer, but then because we've gone over 800, we've got a stiffener in the top skin as well. So if I just pop that down, you can see this little notch in here. It's because there's a stiffener under there, so make sure that you can load this up and it's not going to bow too much. So once you go to this size of a drawer, you need to make sure you got the stiffeners in there, otherwise it is going to flex when you load it up, because you can load so much stuff into this drawer, it will bow eventually. So with the stiffeners in there, it's not going to be a problem. So really cool setup, and yeah, it's a design requirement from this customer to make sure we had such a big drawer for him to exactly work off it. So during the day, this is his office, so lucky for some who can do that. And then finally finishing off the GPO port on the back. So GPO and then the USBs as well. So this cord here powers the microwave up here. So it does just run along the roof and then tuck in. So you have a full power microwave there. So 900 watt, I think. So the 2 kilowatt inverter by EnerDrive powers it. No worries at all. On the inside, the powder coat color is a bright white. So yeah, we did mention at the very start, so texture of black on the outside, pearl white on the doors, and then a bright white on the inside. So really good combination of colors here. All right guys, so roof rack. We've had a lot of people request us sort of run you through how a roof rack system works as well as the solar panel location. So look, I've climbed up on top of this Ranger. Anton, the guy behind the camera, is standing on top of an F250, which is, we're using as a little scaffolding platform. But look, this is our roof rack. So we have a lot of different ones. I think off the top of my head, there's about 26 different variations of roof rack, depending on what canopy you have, what overhang you have. So firstly, the overhang, it isn't always possible. It does depend on what tray and canopy configuration you've gone for. So there's the option for 154 mil overhang. So that's if you have a compact canopy on an extended tray. Or the other one is a 300 mil overhang. So we do the 300 mil overhang basically for the American trucks. That 300 is the same width as a tire, so it makes this last member of our roof rack basically in line with the end of the tires. It also means the pivot point for the clever shade awning is pushed back that extra 300 as well, so you can wrap all the way around really easily. What I've done here, this is actually one of the members of the roof rack, so I've grabbed one off a job coming up. So that there you can see exactly how wide it is, also the profile. So that there is the profile of the roof rack. We have two different methods of securing things to it. The first one here, so we have two nuts. This one here is a T-nut it's called. So these ones slide into the end of the tube, but this must be done before we put the ends on it. So it's not our preferred way for sort of aftermarket fitting, but we do have a few of these in here for the solar panel mounts. Anything that comes from factory from us will be fitted with these ones here. Your other option is a roll nut. So that's a roll nut there. These ones, I'm gonna do it up here just so I don't fall off the ladder. Literally it's a roll nut, they roll in, spring in first, and then you squeeze them in, and then you roll them. So that there is located in. And then anything with an M8 thread, so I've grabbed a few eyelets. So these here, they've actually covered in powder coat, because this is what we use to hang the trays upside down in powder coat. So by all the mounts where the toolbox goes, that's how we mount them. And then you literally just thread that in. That's the Oldsman stitch up. M6 nut, M8 eyelet. There we go, M8 one this time. M8 goes in, same roll technique. They can be a little fiddly just to get it to locate, but that's in there. And then M8, make sure you have the right thread on an M6, M8 situation, and then that there threads all the way in until it maxes out. So then that is a tie down point for anything you want to mount into your roof, or yeah, if you have sort of tracks, max tracks, whatever you have when you put on the roof, that's how you do it using a little roll nut. Solar panel location, usually as standard we put them on the right hand side of the canopy. The 180 watt panel from EnerDrive is a little bit too long for us to rotate at 90 degrees, so it has to go lengthways. But this way you still have the option to run full length over the top of the canopy and then onto the racks of the cab. So make it as modular as possible and user friendly, I guess. So if you don't want it on here, sort of we can supply them so you can fit them to the cab as well, and then run a cord from the rack of the cab back to the canopy. So that does bring us to the end of the walk around of this Ranger tray and canopy configuration. What we're gonna do, every week we are gonna, at the end of the video, answer a few questions that you guys post on YouTube. So basically, let's just go through them. Ridge 5000, thanks for your comment. You did say, I'd love to see a space efficient half canopy build if possible. We will definitely make a video of the first true half canopy we do. We have done one 900 canopy on a Colorado, but that went out probably near close to 12 months ago now. Didn't do a video on that one, but the next one we definitely will. But for you, check out the most decked out Ranger we did. That was a 1262 canopy on an 1800 long tray. So I was at 538 mil at the back. Not a true half canopy, but it does show you how much stuff you can pack in to a smaller canopy. So look guys, thanks for watching. Make sure the comments do keep coming, because as I said, every week I'll read one or two of them out. And then yes, we do read every single one of them and we'll get an answer to you, whether that's a reply to YouTube or a DM. So thanks for watching guys, cheers. Oh man, the bloopers of this are gonna be horrendous.
They're really tall. Doesn't
Bring it down here.
It's not, you couldn't tell that you need the bend. So
Oh, you want me to do it?
do it a little bit. Not that much. Yeah, that looks...
Alright, let's go.
Yeah, what do you
I feel so weird. Ready? On the inside, we have gone for a, I guess it's this canopy to make sure it's going to be strong enough and last the test. I'm struggling with this one. I might do that again. Obviously, if you're standing on this, if I just bring this down, except it's locked up. Should have checked that before. What is it? It's that one there, which will be that one, I think. You got that in you. You're gonna use it, eh? We have filled up, usually there's multiple, I'm struggling big time. Man, I screwed up the nut size. You'll love that.